The sound was impossible to ignore, soft at first, then sharp and desperate. A tiny cry echoed through the quiet evening street, cutting through the hum of distant traffic and rustling leaves. But she kept walking. Maybe it was just a stray cat. Maybe it would stop. Maybe it wasn't her problem, but sometimes, the smallest cries carry the biggest truths, and ignoring them can change everything. Before we begin, if you believe in the power of kindness and the way small moments can change lives, make sure to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments. Welcome to Kindness Story Hub, where every story reminds us that even the smallest act of care can make a big difference. Emma Carter had always been a practical woman. Living in a quiet neighborhood just outside Columbus, Ohio, she had a routine she rarely broke. Work, groceries, dinner, a little TV, then bed. Life was predictable and safe. That evening, she was walking home from the grocery store, her arms full of bags and her mind already drifting toward what she'd cook for dinner. That's when she heard a faint, trembling meow. She paused for just a second, glancing toward the alley beside an old brick building. The sound came again, louder this time, urgent, almost pleading. Emma sighed. "I really don't have time for this," she muttered under her breath. She shifted the grocery bags and kept walking, but the sound didn't stop. The IT followed her, echoing in her ears, tugging at something deep inside her. She made it halfway down the block before stopping again. Her grip tightened on the bags. "Someone else will take care of it," she said out loud, as if convincing herself. Still, she didn't move. Another cry, longer, weaker. Emma closed her eyes. Something about it didn't feel right. It wasn't just a stray cat wandering around. It sounded scared. Alone, and suddenly, walking away didn't feel so easy anymore. With a frustrated sigh, she turned back. "Fine," she said. "Just a quick look." She stepped into the narrow alley, her footsteps cautious against the cracked pavement. The air smelled faintly of damp cardboard and old trash, and the light from the street barely reached inside. "Hello," she called softly. The crying stopped for a moment. There was only silence. Then, from behind a stack of discarded boxes, a tiny orange cat emerged. Its fur was matted, its body thin, and its eyes wide with fear. "Oh, you poor thing," Emma whispered. The cat hesitated, then let out a weak meow and took a small step toward her. Emma set her grocery bags down and knelt slowly. "It's okay," she said gently. "I'm not going to hurt you." The cat crept closer, trembling, but then something strange happened. Instead of coming all the way to her, the cat stopped and turned back. It looked over its shoulder, then back at Emma, letting out another cry. Emma frowned. "What is it?" The cat walked a few steps deeper into the alley, then stopped again, looking back as if waiting. It wasn't just scared, it was trying to show her something. Emma hesitated. Every instinct told her to grab the cat and leave. But curiosity, and something stronger, pulled her forward. "Okay," she said quietly. "I'm coming." She followed the cat past the boxes, deeper into the shadows. The alley seemed longer than it had from the outside, stretching into a dim, narrow corridor between buildings. The cat led her to a rusted metal door at the back, and then it sat down. Emma looked at the door. It was slightly open. Her heart began to beat faster. "Hello," she called again, louder this time, but no answer. The cat meowed, pacing nervously in front of the door. Emma swallowed hard. "This is weird," she whispered. She pushed the door open slowly. Inside, the space was dark, dusty, and cluttered. An old storage room, maybe abandoned. But as her eyes adjusted, she noticed something that made her breath catch. A blanket on the floor, and beneath it, movement. Emma rushed forward, dropping to her knees. She carefully pulled the blanket back and froze. A young boy, maybe 6 or 7 years old, lay curled up, shivering. "Oh my God," Emma gasped. Hey, can you hear me?" The boy's eyes fluttered open. They were tired, scared, but alive. "Are you okay?" she asked, her voice shaking. He didn't answer right away. Instead, he looked past her, to the cat. "That's my cat," he whispered weakly. Emma turned, her eyes wide. The small orange cat stood quietly at the doorway, watching. "You've been here this whole time?" Emma asked gently. The boy nodded faintly. "Where are your parents?" she asked. His face fell. I don't know," he said. "We were moving, and then I got lost." Emma's heart sank. Without another thought, she took off her jacket and wrapped it around him. "It's okay," she said softly. "I've got you now." She pulled out her phone and called 911. As they waited, the boy clutched her hand weakly. The cat came closer, curling up beside him as if it had never left. Emma felt a lump rise in her throat. This tiny animal had been trying to help all along. Minutes later, the sound of sirens filled the alley. Paramedics rushed in, carefully lifting the boy onto a stretcher. "He's dehydrated, but stable," one of them said. "You found him just in time." Emma nodded, her hands still trembling. "What about the cat?" she asked. The paramedic smiled. "Looks like it's coming too." As they loaded both the boy and the cat into the ambulance, Emma stood there, stunned. She had almost walked away. If she had ignored that cry just a little longer, she shook her head, unable to finish the thought. A few days later, Emma visited the hospital. The boy, whose name was Lucas, was sitting up in bed, looking much better. The orange cat, named Sunny, was curled up beside him. When Lucas saw Emma, his face lit up. "You came back," he said. Emma smiled. "Of course I did." A nurse explained that Lucas had been separated from his family during a chaotic move across states. They had already been located and were on their way to reunite with him. "They never stopped looking," the nurse said. Emma felt tears fill her eyes. Lucas reached for Sunny, gently stroking its fur. "He didn't leave me," he said. "Even when I was scared." Emma looked at the cat, her heart full. "No," she said softly. "He didn't." That evening, as Emma walked home, the street felt different. The same sidewalks, the same buildings. But something inside her had changed. Kindness wasn't always convenient. It wasn't always planned. Sometimes, it was just a choice, a moment where you decided to stop, to listen, to care, even when it would be easier not to. Emma smiled to herself. All it had taken was one small decision, to turn back, and it had saved a life. So the next time you hear something, a cry, a call for help, or even just a quiet moment where someone needs you, don't ignore it, because kindness doesn't just change others. It changes you, and sometimes, it leads you to something you never expected. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with someone who believes in the power of kindness. And remember, your small act of care could be someone else's miracle. This is Kindness Story Hub, where every story reminds us that kindness always finds its way back.